Hello, passengers. This is Freedom Flight GLL117 with Destination Oasis, and this is your co pilot speaking. I'm Ginger, and I'm seated next to Jesus, your chief pilot. We had some very special information to pass along for our passengers just to let everyone know that your safe landing is assured. There is no turbulence and there's nothing that will prevent your pleasant landing and arrival to your destination oasis, but you definitely want to measure your expectations. Our special announcements this evening will include a happy camper update. This is what we call our passengers Flying Freedom Flight GL117. We're also going to share important information on the military side, as well as we're going to do a little bit of takeaway announcements to tie everything seamlessly together. And finally, we will end with a little bit of important housekeeping, what I will affectionately call cabin keeping, so that we can have a pleasant and safe flight. Please allow me to begin. Regarding the Happy Camper update, I've often told you that my most important focus is on our dear friend who lives far, far away across the pond. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt when this gentleman in Tier 3 becomes uh, whitewater rafting capable, meaning he has liquid funds. That is our code word for his whitewater rafting adventure, then everything else falls. All the dominoes fall for global liquidity all over, undoubtedly. Now, my friend was told by his contacts, he speaks to Zurich every day. He speaks to his bank contacts in this special land far, far away every day. And they were assured that things would be moving on his end today, which is April the 18th, 2025, Friday. Good Friday. Unfortunately, as of this evening, 8:38 Eastern Time, uh, PM, he has not received his liquid funds at this time. There's no movement as of this evening. So this means we are going to wait, I would assume, until after Easter. That would just be um, my my best assessment, my best guess. I also want to bring up another member in chat brought up that this quote, someone must have misspoken, and maybe they meant 96 hours or more and not 48 hours regarding the special announcement that's been going around about President Trump and a special meeting he had. Now, I will repeat that the announcement was that President Trump met with bankers earlier on in the week, and the bank leaders um, they were being told that exotic currencies will be trending publicly in 48 hours. That was the quote. And I want you to hear the reply we gave to our member. I said, "Hey, sugar, keep in mind that it is Easter and Easter is celebrated in most countries all around the world, right? So, in my thinking, isn't it safe to assume that most banks globally will be having a 3-day weekend for a holiday? Please avoid locking yourself into a scenario where things are so literal. This isn't productive for you or anyone else. It's absorbing, right? It's not observing, friend. I always encourage our followers to observe, but don't absorb. Pull yourself back away from the ledge or the bridge or whatever it is you want to shout from or jump from. Let's give it time to play each process out. This does not mean a delay per se, nor does it mean anyone has provided fake news or misinformation. We are waiting for that bigger trigger event, in my humble opinion, and for the banking flip to flop and everything to be switched over. It is all part of it. My guess is it'll be on the heels of Easter. I have no way of knowing the exact timing. None of us here, and no podcaster anywhere knows the exact timing, no matter what they say. Things are going to be very quiet, and they're supposed to be all necessary to cloud the timing and to keep any interferences at bay. I hope this helps. You personally have brought up the literal number of the 48 hours quote repeatedly, so I felt I needed to say something. Lovingly yours, Jin Jin. So I just wanted to share that as a little helpful tidbit. And also, let's keep in mind the exact verbiage was trending publicly. This also has an idea that bank screens will, the bank, like the back screens, they will be able to see these rates trending, adjusting, that where they're not going to be just placeholders. Are you with me? We've got to really use critical thinking skills. We must hone in on details and think outside the box. Nowhere did I ever say that you would get notifications in 48 hours. No one has ever heard me say that. No one has ever heard me call it for a certain date. I just don't do that. Now, when other people have called it, I've been on the more cautionary side and said, I really don't see it happening for such and such reason. I'm waiting for this certain trigger to pop off. And I've always been much more guarded in that regard, you see. So let's think about the possibility of what that trending publicly within 48 hours, it could honestly mean what the banks are able to see more visibly on their screens for all the necessary movement to come about. Okie dokie. So now we're going to um, move along to some important military information. The first thing I want to share is for some of you who may not know GLL, I work closely with the Celestial Alliance as Ambassador for God's Abundance with the Celestial Alliance, and I'm also aligned very closely with the White Hat military. We have in our group, on our airplane as well, a lot of special um, military contractors. We call them special friends, but it sounds like horses because they're the ones with the badass, super kick-assery skills. The real badasses. We also have others that are active duty veterans, but we do connect in on a regular basis with folks who are boots on the ground and who know what is going on. So, one of our special friends, sounds like horses, is Flyby, and he's been working south of the taco stand, taking care of business at the behest of Commander in Chief Donald John Trump. He and his teams have been kicking ass and taking names. I want to give a shout out to our special Leah, who is Liberty Lounger extraordinaire. She's the amazing gal that does the Leah's Nuggets. We love her to pieces. Well, we encourage our members to look out of your cabin windows using your beautiful bedazzled bionic binoculars to see the news and bring it back to headquarters. And Leah does a beautiful job. Something caught her attention weeks ago, and she grabbed a screenshot and brought it into the lounge. And the header on it says breaking news: Mexico's finance minister Ramirez de Lao resigns. And there's an article about his resignation. Well, when she posted the screenshot, I posted it to the channel giving her credit for this great find. And I said, this is absolutely Gentel compliant based on what we know from Flyby, our ambassador ambassador of badassery, kickassery. So we were just linking him to that. And the beautiful thing is, after Flyby went dark for about a month or more, and he's come back and resurfaced, he was catching up on our private messages. And he acknowledged my gut feeling, because, sometimes I'll check in with Celestial Alliance to see, what the connections are to the events of the day and how it's impacting, our special friends, because it helps us to pray, more impact with more impact and more thoroughly. And he acknowledged absolutely that was our take, that person, that Mexico's finance minister, that was our take. He said it took us a while to crack this nut, but we were obviously successful. So we just want to give lots and lots of praise and congratulations to Flyby and his team. Also, back in, I think it was March, Zacchaeus Shaw, our admin extraordinaire, created a compilation video of an amazing funky song. It was a beautiful song, but it was paired with psalms, and it was like verses like the warriors, like for like David, King David and his warrior. Those kind of verses were narrating, and he placed in the video amazing like pictures and video of special friends. Sounds like horses, our badass extraordinaires out in the field doing their work. And it was really a powerful video. I'm going to repost it again. But I wanted to read you all Flyby's reaction, because I sent it to him, letting him know Zacchaeus is created this for a way to honor you all, our special friends. So Flyby was deeply touched. So, Zacchaeus, this is what he said. All I can say is, wow, all capital letters. This is amazing and amazingly done. I had to call a briefing for tomorrow midday, and this song is going to get played after our opening prayer. I am going to call an all hands on deck briefing tomorrow at the close of duty day, and before the regular taps is played. I will also open that briefing up with this after opening prayer as well. I can assure you that all are going to absolutely love this video, because I'm the one that is the eldest of all, and they all say that I'm no fun and I'm a stick in the mud. Well, I'm just going to tell them that, hey, I have my own DJ now, so how cool am I? Isn't that great? All kidding aside, please give my best regards and thanks to the maker of this video, and more are welcome, because these things really do greatly help us in regards to boosting morale and helping us when it's go time. This was outstanding. Signed Flyby. So I'm going to reshare that video for you. It'll be playing in the airplane cabin tonight after this segment announcement is done. Also, Flyby has a very, very important prayer request he really wanted me to bring to your attention. I'm going to get my eyes on this really quick. So, as you all know, he was dark for more than a week. I mean, more than a month. I beg your pardon. So, he had a lot to share to catch us up, and still more to come. This is what he sent me yesterday in the afternoon. Before I forget, Ginger, please have the group keep the families of several of our team members in their prayers. We have learned about tornadoes and severe storms and flooding that have affected many. That's one of the hardest things I have to deal with in my capacity as a leader. It's bad enough, the hell on earth we already face on the daily out there, but when other things happen and I have to tell them about more hell, man, it makes it a hard, hard day. So far, there's been no fatalities, but lots of losses and some complete losses of property and homes and things like that. It's been unbelievable for my team. We hope and pray that you and none of your group have suffered with anything from these terrible storms. And some of these, his crew, some of them are in their home is in more of the southern part of the United States. Some are in Texas, some might be in Mississippi, Louisiana. There's been a hell of a lot of bad storms, tornadoes and flooding. So please pray for these teams, for them to be out doing this dangerous work, and then, they know that their own families are in a compromised situation, maybe having lost a lot or lost everything. So please do keep them in your prayers. Now I'm going back to some more military information. I'm sharing some key details received by Plato. Now, Plato is a dear friend of GLL. He's a fantastic passenger on this flight, and he is former Army career, currently Air Force active duty. We've been able to kind of, I loop some of our more keenly invested sort of military folks in, you know, comparing what are you hearing, what are you getting kind of thing. And he has heard identical things in his area that I've gotten from special friends. Sounds like horses, like it's all matchy. So the whole idea of the briefings on the potential, the possibility of martial law uh, at 70%, one of our special friends was told in his briefing. Others heard similar. They just got a different date, but it would have fallen on the weekend here around surrounding Easter, etc. So we're not making any guarantees. They said there's a possibility. I personally feel that they would probably enact something like that on the heels of Easter. This is my own opinion because I honestly believe that the White Hats would want people to be able to celebrate the Savior's resurrection and, just to have a calm, pleasant holiday, time of worship. And Jesus, our chief pilot, sitting next to me here in the cockpit, and he says, "Yeah, that sounds really good." He liked the idea of that too. So, Plato does have some important information. I want to start off by saying this is not classified and it's absolutely safe for me to share this. And he encouraged me to put this out so you all can know really the bigger picture of what is going on. So Plato says if the talks fail on Saturday, 19th of April, we in Air Force Central have orders and assets in place. These orders are for the Navy and for the Air Force. Our orders and our assets are already in place. Orders have been written and delivered to forces that will encourage Iran to come to the negotiating table. It's like the carrot and stick approach. I love the boss. Speaking of Commander in Chief President Donald John Trump. So basically, actions will happen. Like if the talks don't go well with Iran tomorrow, the military is going to do some things to make them want to come to the table. I will leave it at that. He went on to say, we are on immediate recall. This is for our military, our civilians, and our contractors. We have naval assets. Normally, in the Red Sea, these naval assets have now been repositioned into the Arabian Gulf, which is right off the coast of Iran and within full view of the Iranian delegation in Oman. Forces, that means we have forces there. Three times, there's 3 U.S. carrier groups positioned. They are joined by British fleet and a French fleet, and one makes a total of 5 aircraft carriers strike groups add to that amount of land-based air power on our Middle East bases. Plus, there's an entire coalition of the UK, French, Italian, and German military, plus everything we aren't even tracking. That would be the Russian and the Chinese. That's a lot of power for some Yemen rebels. It's not for them, though that was the rationale that was given. Add the above to the planned 19th of April protests planned in all states, all 50 states, with the 20 April deadline to decide on the Insurrection Act. I'll come back to this. All of this lines up with everything that you, Ginger, have been talking about consistently in your Gentel. You always bring us back to the Clash of the Titans scenario. Justice and I were discussing this and comparing notes, and we both felt you should have this at a glance rundown of what I'm seeing from my seat in the Air Force. There's no problem, no issues with you sharing this with the group. Now, I do want to take a moment and explain to you a little bit more about what he was talking about, these protests. So, for the 19th of April, these massive protests have been planned, which is called the 50-51, 50501, 50-51 movement. Protests are mounting up against the Trump administration. And I have posted an article in our chat room, so you can read the article and learn more about it. It's pretty intense, what they are planning and the far reach they are expecting. And it has been said that depending on how these protests go, that it could result in President Trump signing the Insurrection Act. All of these are data points that we must keep in consideration. And also, this is why it's important to realize of these hints of possibility, why martial law could be, tipped off, or EBS or something like that. So I'm just trying to put data points before you because they are worthy of our consideration. Absolutely. It's meaningful. And I do want to reassure everyone that I know for a fact in my own personal communications and my channels that there is military movement, has been OCONUS, that means outside of the United States. That's been going on for a couple months. That those folks are in place, they're ready to go. And also there's military movement CONUS, that means in the continental United States. And I'm talking from my vantage point would be the contractors, the special badass, special friends with special skills extraordinaire. These people are either in place, or, as I've talked to you in previous audios, they are on alert, they're on standby. They know where they're supposed to go at a moment's notice, and they will report to their rendezvous time within 45 minutes and be on a plane, and they'll be there. So it's significant. This is not something that we just shrug off. Um, and we just want to pray for the best outcome. Now I'm going to leave you with some reflections because I want to tie all of this banking stuff and this more colossal um, military side of it. I want to pair them together like hand and glove, and also giving you an idea of what you might be able to expect from GLL going forward. So I will need to be vague at times just for safety We want you to understand that there's this massive convergence of the banking side, the military side, where the military is going to have to be seen taking a public stance, rising into public view. We also know that we've been waiting for this sort of meshing together. We know without a shadow of a doubt that the white hats are in control of this whole scene on the banking, turning over the whole banking scene from the corrupt cabal, the Federal Reserve, pulling away from those central banks and flipping the switch. We know all of this has been carefully planned out, and they should not be seen as separate, but as one plan in action. Whatever the financial event will be, it will be the switcheroo that takes away the power from the corrupt. So I want to definitely encourage you all to pray and use discernment, and whatever information that we are able to share on the military side, you know that it's coming from real people with boots on, garnishing the weapons. They're in the fight, they're vested in this. Are you with me? I'm not just getting it from a podcaster. I'm getting it from people that are vetted, that I talk to, and that I know, and we can trust them. And they're also never going to say anything that will impact operational security, but sometimes they want to like tip us off, so we can be in prayer and that we can prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually for what's to come. It is not going to be a walk in the park, and I've explained that ad nauseum. So, a friendly reminder as I'm talking about this: do not, under any circumstance, send private messages to Skipper or to Patrick O'Grady, Plato, even. It's not your place to get in their DM and ask them questions. It's really, really, really not appropriate to do that, and you might just get yourself, blocked or banned. So please respect that. Even Skipper, as I've said, is on an NDA and he can't talk about it. So please respect those boundaries. I just want you to know that sometimes we'll be very reserved in our comments on this military side going forward, and we need to be because we're extremely close. We are there. We also know and must understand there will be a quiet, a silence before the flip. These events will happen and they'll come upon us sneaking up like a thief in the night. It's supposed to be that way. I want you to know that our events that we've been watching for, many of them have come and gone, and now there's an actual date at play, but nobody knows what that date is. You can't even guess what the date is going to be. Information is going to be clamped down on all fronts. This is a controlled military operation, and that's exactly how it's got to be, and you're going to have to like it. People, I'm afraid, are going to get to a point where they'll be frantic. I've already seen it in chat rooms. Frantic for intel, frantic for the next, little nugget of something to hold on to. People will lose their minds when they feel intel has dried up. People are under NDA. There are people that are not talking, and we all must respect that. This will result in negativity galore, and that just doesn't help anybody. If you come into your chat rooms that you like to peruse and just dump negativity and complaining and bemoaning, you must manage your expectations. You must observe but don't absorb. You must realize the magnitude of kinetic things going on around the world. And I know things aren't easy for you, they're not easy for me either. But there's people out there putting everything on the line for our humanity's safety, for our safety. And we should use our time prepping for our appointment, praying for these brave ones, praying and using our energies in a positive and productive manner. I'm encouraging you to increase in prayer. I'm encouraging you all to stand up against any onset of black pilling or just massive complaining. I mean, if somebody blows up that you didn't get a notification with your Sunday Easter breakfast, I mean, come on. We can't have that. This operation must be quiet and secluded. Okie dokie. Please manage your expectations and be adults and have a filter about yourself, and say that which is beneficial, right? And that's helpful in your chat groups. I just really, really felt very strongly on that. Um, I also want to share some little bit of housekeeping with you. So here we are at GLL117, our beautiful flying bird, our big jet. What would it be like for me as your co-pilot if Big Country, tapped on the door of the cockpit and said, "Hey, co-pilot Ginger, I need your help, man. Do you have any of that like lidocaine or rub or something? I've got this massive leg cramp from sitting so long." Or what about if Plato came up and said, co-pilot Jinjin, I need your help. So and so is behind me. They keep pushing on my seat. Or what would it be like if Rainbow Doggo said, "Man, co-pilot Jinjin, I just came into the cockpit to tell you I cannot sleep. My seatmates beside me are snoring so loud." Or what would it be like if Deli Dale came up to the cockpit and say, "Oh my goodness, these you know, these people are talking too loud, or somebody's singing off key, or there's gum under my tray table. I would not be able to get my job done if I had all this in the fray." But I need you to know that this is what's happening in our chat group. All right? I'm getting PMs. Ginger, what if the EBS happens this weekend and I'm traveling? What do I do? Ginger, my granddaughter is flying from so and so to so and so. What should I tell my family? What should they do? Ginger, could you please use your resources and get me or get my loved one into a med bed, because I want my boyfriend to go with me to the camper appointment, and I want him well enough so he can get out of rehab and come to me with to my appointment with me. Will you do that for me? And I had one lady who insisted she was scared to death that she got a hacker on her computer, that somebody may have hacked into her computer, and she was scared about how that would affect her contacts and how that would affect her humanitarian projects. And she was like, "What should I do, Ginger? If somebody hacked me, how do I fix it? What am I supposed to do? Tell me what to do. I'm panicking," she said, expecting me to be the fix it person. I am not your information desk, and I'm not your complaint desk when things aren't going right. All right? I can't fly this plane if I'm having to spend an hour, getting back to people, and even when I say it very politely, very respectfully, I'm so sorry, this question falls out of my purview. I'm sorry, I can't help with that. They come back with almost a snippy, sassy that answer isn't good enough. I seriously got that today. Not to mention the person who said that, they've fallen in love with Mel Gibson in PM, and, she needs to make sure Mel Gibson can get on her addendum because, they're going to do humanitarian projects. So, Ginger, what do I do? How can I get Mel Gibson on my addendum? You all would not believe the stuff and that was just the more recent stuff, not Mel, but that was all just yesterday. The admin extraordinaire Lone Star put out a simple request today to please withhold PMs about questions or how to's to Ginger. Just that can go to our admins. You can ask questions in the chat rooms. We have lots and lots of loving, helpful members in the chat room. You can get help from them. You do not need to loop me in on this minutia. No more than you would come to the pilot in a cockpit and report an issue going on the cabin. That's what you have your flight attendants for. So I am asking politely that you respect whatever boundaries are necessary so I can do what I do. I I need you to know that I love you, and it's not that I'm not approachable, but there's only so much of me to go around. And I've got to vet things. I've got to hop on phone calls. I've got to read personal messages from people that are really, really helping me vet things and loop me in. And I can't get to their messages because somebody's asking me to fix their problem. How do I get my car out of repo because I need to be able to go to my appointment? Like I'm the one that's supposed to handle that. We have wonderful admins that are able to provide some loving support so everything doesn't fall on me, okay? So I need to restore these boundaries. And then when this lovely admin just put out the request, we even saw, some sassy like pushback of like, oh, well, I guess we're not going to get any updates since Ginger's taking a break for a couple days. I mean, the sense of entitlement is just absolutely unacceptable. And I need to whip out my flip flop and I need to wallop a few heifers in the tail and let y'all know you better rein it in, dadgummit. You better rein it in. Nip it in the bud, this sense of entitlement. I give and I give and I love and I love and I don't stop doing what I'm doing. But my admins are noticing, Mama Jinjin, she needs a little break. They're trying to help me with that, okay? So we can safely land this plane and so I can do my best to keep you informed. So all that being said, I love you, and I'm going to holster my flip-flop until I need to break it out again. So this is your co-pilot Ginger, seated with Jesus, and he approves everything that I just said. He gave me a big, sweet smile, and I would love to keep you posted as I see some big things come down the pike, but I would like to have a quiet weekend, focus on Christ's resurrection, focus on some other things. So I'm not going to be gone, but I'm going to be busy. Um, and I just would rather be less busy in PM with menial things that I really, really, I just am not going to be answering those. Alrighty. I love you. This is Copilot Jinjin signing out and it is April the 18th, 2025. I love you, GLL Flight 117. And we've got another Chronicles coming up, God willing, here maybe on Monday. If not tomorrow, maybe on Monday. I don't know the time, but we are definitely trying to put some things together. I love you. Bunches. Bye, everybody.